Today we celebrate the feast of St. Blaise, who was known for the blessing of throats with candles. But just as that first reading talks about persecution, St. Blaise was no stranger to persecution. He was a bishop around the period in the 300s when it became legal to become a Christian, but it took several years before people quit persecuting them, even though it was not illegal to be a Christian. And he eventually was martyred, but most of what we know about St. Blaise is just by legend. The stories of him are just amazing. One of the stories is that when the local leaders were trying to capture him and have him turn away from the Christian faith, he went off into the woods and lived in a cave. And people would come to him and be healed, and animals would even come to him. They just show up at his door. And the amazing thing is they wouldn't interrupt him when he was in prayer. They would just wait there patiently. And when this government leader was looking for him, he sent his hunters out to go and gather food. And they saw these animals gathered around a cave, and they went in and they saw wolves around St. Blaise, who was praying, waiting there patiently to be healed. They shoot off the animals and took Blaise back to this government leader to be persecuted. And on the way, legend has it that a woman came up to him, pleading with him, "Please save my son. He's choking to death on a fishbone." And he prayed over him, and he coughed the fishbone up and was saved. Eventually, St. Blaise was martyred, but even after his death, his legend lived on. A couple of days ago, someone told me about a young man from Cranberry, who was originally from down in Harmony Township near Ambridge. He was just an amazing young man. He was 25 years old, and I went to look on his Facebook page and didn't find what I expected to see on his Facebook page. There weren't lots of videos of rappers and things. There were pictures of Jesus Christ, bleeding and bruised. And there was a video of a young boy in the inner city who saw another young boy dribbling a basketball, didn't have any shoes on, and he went into the house and got a pair of his own shoes and a pair of socks and gave them to this little boy. An act of kindness in there. There's another little verse in there that says, although he was never given a degree in education, they called him teacher. Although he never had a medical diploma, they called him doctor. And though he never raised an army, he was called king. And he defeated death, Jesus Christ. It was amazing that this young man was willing to do that, knowing that just like Jesus, whenever you put yourself out there, sometimes you get criticized. Even Jesus in his own hometown, they were jealous and criticized him. And this young man went, and he was a bodybuilder. He looked like he came off the Bachelor show with a six-pack and everything. And he told his mother, "Mom, I got a tattoo." And she said, "Oh, what did you do?" And he pulled up his shirt, and there were 3 roses on his chest and the words "Hail Mary," his favorite song, or his favorite prayer. Christian was 25 years old, and he never had any idea that he would die a few days ago of a blood clot that just made it to his brain, and within 36 hours he was dead. But not without leaving a legacy to his friends. He didn't have to go back and clean up his Facebook pages and take off dirty jokes or strange memes. He just lived his life that way. Just like St. Blaise, that legend lives on. We are called, all of us, to be witnesses, to be part of that cloud of witnesses that it says in the Bible, to follow in the footsteps of Christ. Because everywhere we go, no matter what we do, what we say, whether it's online or whether it's in person, we leave footprints in this world. And if those footprints are following in the path are the footprints of Christ. It's a path that leads to God. What legacy will you leave behind?